Okay guys, we're going to do our quick recap today. Today we traded a total of 4 stocks. We traded MOGU, ALT, VUZI, AIHS. So today is interesting. Today is the second day of the recaps that I'm doing where I'm actually showing the P&L, whether it's green or red. I'm being transparent. I'm showing the real results on the good days and on the bad days. We're gonna continue this until I see that if it doesn't mess with me, where it doesn't mess with my trading, then I'm gonna keep doing it. So the first stock that we traded was AIHS. This stock was I was trading it for a gap and go setup originally. So entry would have been at 262 or actually around 250 for a move higher. Here we can see that it made a nice move pre-market from 125 up to 262. We'll jump into the 5-minute chart so we can see what we're looking at. So we had this high of 262. It pulled back. An entry would have been here at this level at, let's see, 245 for a move up to 262. So at least 15 cents of profit with the potential of it to continue to go higher. A bull flag here, move higher to the next resistance point. We'll jump into the 1-minute chart so we can look at what we were trading on the 1 minute in more detail. Okay, so I kind of want to jump in here a little bit before this level, because if I was to wait up at this point, I would have been giving up about 10-15 cents of profit, and you want to capture the most profit as possible. So I was waiting to get in around 233. So the bell opened, it resumed that it opened at 226. As soon as I saw volume coming in, I jumped in at 230, at 228, 229, and it looked like it was going to break that level for a break of 233, potentially 245. That would have been 15 cents of profit. But we saw resistance there on the level 2. On the level 2, it could not break that point. We saw a lot of green buying, but no, it would not break it. So I could have sold it all up here at this level and had a tiny loss, maybe like a 2-cent loss. But I decided to give it a chance. I held a little bit more longer than what I should have. Break out or bail out. So I got in at 229, sold half at 25, and then the other half at 20. Of course, this stock would have been a good dip buy down to 15, buy at 15 for a move up to back to 230. That was my original idea of doing, but I kind of was thinking of what yesterday and the day before yesterday, what it did, and there was a nice gap and go setup. So that's kind of what I was aiming for today. Of course, nothing really did line up for a gap and go setup. I mean, if you look on the 1 minute, it's not really clean for a gap and go setup. Maybe if it would have been trading a little bit around this level, around 240-ish, 245, potentially, it would have looked better. And also on the 5-minute chart, there's nothing here that tells me this is going to be a good gap and go setup. Again, 238 is the high of that candle. So maybe if this candle would have been up here around 245, or maybe if this candle here would have been up here, and then this one down here, and then the next one back up here, potentially that would have been a nicer setup. But here we're kind of already stepping down. The volume wasn't looking too good. We had 2-3 red volume bars, a little bit higher higher volume on these red volume bars. So that kind of tells you that, and with decreasing price, that kind of tells you that there's more selling pressure. So usually the stock continues to go lower. We can see that, should be able to see that on the 1 minute as well. Yeah, well, we see more red volume bars, so that's a red flag. I went ahead and took the trade anyways, and I went a little bit heavier on size. That's why the loss was a little bit bigger than what it should have been. Also, I didn't cut it loose right away, so it just didn't work out. I did cut it loose. I could have went all the way down to 207, but I did not hold that long. Another trade that I took was another dip buy. I bought in on the brick of this 207. It hit a low of 190. I got filled around $2. So there was the reason I got in this candle was because there was a big bid order at $2. So I was like, okay, well, if we get a tap of this level of $2 and that bid support holds, definitely got to get a bounce back up, at least back up to VWAP, which VWAP is 224. This orange dotted line, nice 20 cents of profit. So it hit 2 and it broke 2. So I was like, okay, not what I had in mind. And then it popped up to around 203, 204, and I sold it all up there, which that was a good call because it just went a little bit lower and it continued to go lower. So that was that trade. And then I believe that was it on AIHS. The next trade we took was, let's see, we took a trade on MOGU. MOGU was a momentum stock. It was trading around 475 pre-market. It hit a high of 575. This stock halted going up. That's the reason I traded it. So it was at 460. It hit a high of 558. Halted for 5 minutes. On the resumption is when I got in. So this was a little bit tricky. Usually these stocks halt for 5 minutes. This one halted for like 6 minutes or 5 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that, an odd number. So I had my eyes off of it already. And then it resumed. So okay, so it halted at 558, going up for 5 minutes. It resumed lower, or actually at 550. And then it dipped all the way down to 523. So if I would have been watching it, I probably would have got in on this dip buy around 25.30 for a move higher. What I ended up seeing was seller at 50. So once I seen that seller, there was a good chance that it was going to get taken out. I jumped in at around 544, hit a high of 570. I sold some up here at 558, 560, and the remaining amount down here at 544, break even. This could have been a little bit bigger winner, but I was kind of waiting for the bigger move. I was kind of expecting this to continue to go higher. It did not. So I sold half up here and sold the other half at break even. And that was that trade. And that was good that I got out at that level because this stock continued to go all the way down to 490, which was another potential dip buy down here at 490. As you can see, it hit this red line, which is the 50 moving average support for a move back up. So from 490 back up to 530, nice little 40 cents of profit there. And then so we'll jump into the next stock that we traded. Next one was VUZI. We traded this one 2 times. As you can see here, it halted going up. This one was it's a small company. Verizon picked it to do some kind of contract. So that's usually good for these small companies. This stock halted from 325 up to 363, halted going up. It resumed way up here at 393. So that was would have been a nice trade. And so it resumed from this halt, and I jumped in for the break of $4. It resumed down here at 393, and I was like, okay, well, I like this stock for a break of 4, but it is already extended, so I was a little bit nervous about it. 50 cents, 40 cents extended is already pretty risky, a risky trade. So once I saw that 4, there was a seller at 4. Once I saw that he was getting taken out, I jumped in. I ended up getting filled 4 cents higher. It hit a high of like 415. I did not sell, and it came back down to my entry point, and I got out break even. I was disappointed on that one because this one, the level 2 on this one was choppy. It was just kind of bouncing around all over the place. It was not clean at all. Yeah, I could have sold up here at 432, but it just wasn't clean. I couldn't predict that short-term move. So that's what happened. I got out break even. The same thing on this one. I bought a dip buy on it, $4. It hit a low of 390. I got in at 4 before I moved higher. It did not work right away, so I bailed that right at 4, around 402, something like that. So that was that trade, and the last trade that we took today was on ALT. This was a more expensive stock, as you can see, $20 stock. It was trading around $17 pre-market. It made a huge move all the way up here to $22.92, and then look at all these green candles. It's super extended. It's super strong, but it's extended. On this candle, it dropped from 22.88 down to 21.01. Now this is on the 5-minute. We'll jump into the 1-minute chart. Okay, so on the 1-minute chart, we can see that it was trading around 1650, hit a high of 22.92, and we had a lot of little pullbacks here, which were pretty interesting on this kind of stock, on any stock really, that you get that many pullbacks. Well, anyways, I jumped in here on a dip buy. It flushed once it broke the support of 2090. It flushed all the way down to 2037. So I was wanting to get in for a entry, a VWAP tap. VWAP was at 2019. It did not go that low, so I went ahead and took the trade. It hit a low of 2037. I got filled around right under 2050, and I sold right away up here around 2060, 27. Actually, it hit 2070, and I did not take profit, and it was coming back down, and I sold at 60. So little 10-cent profit with very small share size. Of course, the stock continued to go up, but on the level 2, it was telling me that it was weak. So I got out due to the level 2. Now this stock, it made a move all the way up to 21.20. So from 2050 all the way up to 21.20, nice 70 cents of profit possibly, but I had got out. So I believe that is it for today. Those are all my trades. Any questions or anything, just let me know and I'll be glad to help. Thank you.